Lifeboats Part 2, a metaphor for life skills. Created by Alexis, with art and design work by Keith Richards and sound recording by Sam Baker. Relationships. As we float along on the ocean of life, each in our individual lifeboats, we will, from time to time, tie up our lifeboat to another's. This arrangement works perfectly well and can sometimes last for the majority of a lifetime. If we tie our lifeboat to another's, though, it is in our own best interests to make sure that their boat remains seaworthy, for if it begins to sink and we are tied to them, we will go down as well. It is important to also make sure our own boat remains stable for them. This mutual support can take many forms. Yet essentially we pay heed to our partner's boat whilst remaining in our own. Children. Children are born in the parental lifeboat and remain there for quite some time. This is a given. Yet gradually, as life skills grow, a small boat is launched over the side. This boat is still very vulnerable and requires a lot of protection, so the rope of safety remains firmly and securely attached. Gradually, however, the small child grows and begins to take responsibility for their own resources and lifeboat maintenance. The rope remains attached, yet is considerably slackened, and this is important because the role of the parent boat is to make sure the child can become an adult in their own right, self-sufficient on the sea of life, and able to become rope-free. We can always be there to provide resources and help if and as needed, yet children become adults who row away to have a lifeboat of their own. Manuals. Every lifeboat carries its own manual. This manual is made up of personal experience and inherited beliefs and values. It makes sense to us. We spend a lot of time attempting to convince people that the only correct set of beliefs and values are the ones within our own manuals. Yet this is a mind thing. How do we know? It is very common for people to think other people should have the same manual and to become upset when they obviously don't. It is futile and useless to attempt to force someone to live their life according to our manual. You only have to look at the world to see how that's working out. It is also pointless to think we know what someone else is thinking or what is best for them. We have climbed into their boat yet taken our manual with us. Our only business with beliefs and values is to tend to our own. Comparison. We spend a lot of time looking out from our boat and comparing our boat to others, judging either ourselves or them. We imagine that other people's boats are so much better than ours, yet it is impossible to know. Bags of resources could be amassed at the cost of personal investment, and that boat high and dry when it comes to companionship. A new boat engine could be a false safety, and the boat could attempt seas that ultimately prove fatal. Boats can look good from the outside, yet who knows what's going on in the hull? We also do this by comparing our boats to others that we think are less than. Yet who are we to decide on the behalf of others their boat's circumstance? If people ask for help, we can give it in the way that they ask. Yet giving it from a judgment belief that we know better is a form of personal arrogance. The best place to be in the ocean of life is content within our own boat. It is home. So, to recap. Relationships. We can tie up to another, yet essentially we still remain in our own boat, though we have a mutual share of trust and responsibility. Children are within the parent boat and gradually go out onto the sea of life, gaining independence, and this independence is vital. Manuals. Every boat has one, and it is the business of that boat to work with its own manual rather than attempting to change the manuals of others. Comparison is useless. We have our own boat, and that is where our focus needs to remain. Looking at others encourages envy, bitterness, and other equally unhelpful emotions, and can cause pity where none needs to exist. In my next video, I will be discussing the green bin theory, or how to guard against unhelpful associative mind states and how these arise.